In this gospel story this morning, we have a group of the Jewish leaders who are using biblical law as an excuse for mob action. And they are using a woman to try to get to Jesus. Now, in this scene, Jesus never questions the charges that were made against her. He doesn't try to verify the accuser's facts. He doesn't ask her about her perspective or what brought her to this situation. He just simply saves her life. But he sends her off with clear instructions. Go and do not sin anymore. So Jesus does not condemn her, but he does not call her previous actions good either. He saves her life. And that doesn't mean because he accepts her behavior, but because he wants to give her a chance to change. A lot of times we just focus on the woman and Jesus' response to her. What about the crowd? When you think about it, Jesus also puts a lot of trust in them. He doesn't condemn them either, but he tries to help them to understand the biblical law at a deeper level. He helps them to see that conversion, not punishment, is the true goal of biblical law. Conversion, not punishment. So it's both the crowd and the woman who had to acknowledge how far their actions were different from what God commands and what God would like us to do. So Lent for us is also a time for you and me to consider that our actions and the way we think, how far are they from what God intends and wants? It is easy to ignore God's commands, or sometimes to even misuse them to make judgment about others and to want punishment for other people. What God wants is conversion. God wants a change in us to help us to keep on that path to becoming the best version of ourselves that we can be. God wants change in us so that we can help other people to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And standing in the way is something that is so easy for all of us to do, is to judge others. We might judge the poor to be lazy, to judge the immigrant or the refugee to be a danger to us or a threat, or to judge a gay man for undermining marriage. We can go on and on. We can judge our neighbor for anything at all. It's so easy. It is much harder to love, to will another's good, and then to act on it. So much harder to do that than to stand back and judge other people. So let's always remember that piercing line of Jesus. Let the one who has no sin be the first to cast a stone. If we remember that every day, we'll be much better off. Let the one who has no sin be the first to cast a stone. I'd like just to give one example. Sometimes we don't always think of this, but these gospel messages need to be applied, in a sense, to the bigger picture. And I'm just going to give one example. This is just an example, so there's many other ways, and that's where we kind of get into the social justice teaching of the church. So we think of our prison system. Obviously, we need to be protected by people who are a danger to us, a danger to our lives. And so we put them in prison. But we might also ask, what is the primary purpose of the prison system? Is it for punishment? Or is it to try to help them to make a positive change in their lives? That the criminal would change? What does God want? Does he want to punish? Or does he want to save? I hope we know the answer. God is always about saving us, not punishing us.